this woman is on a bike, and she's riding down the street, and there's a man crossing the road, and she's coming down at such a speed she can't stop. She's on a bicycle, and the guy's stepping out, but he has to step back, and he basically like, it's kind of like, what are you doing, kind of thing. And she's like, and as she heads towards me, she can see the look on his face, and she says, please don't push me off my bike. And the guy goes, like, he throws some slurs at her, and she drives past him. And then she goes a long distance. Actually, what I'll do is I'll put the link in the description so people can see the video for themselves. But yeah, she's going down the road, and about a couple yards, maybe even 10 yards, and she looks back and the guy's chasing her. And he catches up with her, and he's like, you what? If you can put the finger up at me, and pushes off the bike. He like proper lunged her off the bike, and she falls into the road, and like there's traffic and there's heavy traffic and everything. And like so the police put that video out, and I think like a couple of hours later he handed himself into the police. So yeah, good, handed himself in. He's conscious, like got better of him. But he shouldn't have done it in the first place, but obviously. Now my message is thing for him and for everyone else is, come on, really, calm down. Alright.
Calm down, it's only an advert here.
No, because like people get so pissed. Like if you give someone the finger and they will flip. Like violence even. So that, like this woman, she's obviously, he said that you don't see it in the video, but she's obviously giving the finger. And that's what's pissed him off to the point where he would chase her down the road, push off the bike into the road. I'm like, what if she pushed her over and a car ran over her head or something? Like, was it worth it? Was the violence? was it worth it?
There's a surprising amount of this on public transport or just in general.
People are just angry these days.
I genuinely, you just reminded me like about probably a year, maybe more, a couple of years, like similar situation. I got off the bus, I'm in North Greenwich by the O2, I'm going down towards the underground, people are coming up, like me and this guy are kind of caught each other as you do, and you're going by, and I carry on walking, and this guy has chased after me, pulled my hoodie off of my bomber jacket, when bomber jackets were a thing again, or the sleeveless. The sleeveless. Yeah, exposed. 1985 people. So yeah, pull my hood off.
I'm 85 baby.
Pull my hood off my thing. Yeah. So we're all basically like there's certain adverts, and if you don't know that, then she's too young for you, bro.
She's not Sesame Street.
But yeah, basically, like he's pulled me back now, and like he's like, oh, you bumped into me, and to be honest, he had alcohol on his breath at 10 o'clock in the morning, like strong talking, like rum. And like I basically said to him, like, dude, we're in North Greenwich, there are about 6 different Camrys, go for it. If you're gonna hit me, go for it, please, go for it, so I can sue you, sort of thing. And he just kind of like, just kind of walked off and sort of, but yeah, like this random anger thing that people are doing over nonsensical things, like, don't get me wrong, when someone barges into me, I'm like, prick, and I carry on though, because I expect it. I'm not going to chase someone down and kick them off their bike because they gave me the finger.
That's the thing.
Not everyone's as rational as you.
Well, not rational. It's very true. But that said, it's the whole, like, dude had alcohol. I mean, I'm talking like strong Saturday night alcohol on his breath at 10 o'clock in the morning.
You make wrong decisions though when you're pissed. When you're like drunk and you're angry.
So do we know this guy? Like he handed himself in. Obviously,
there's no name.
There's no name. Was there any like? Did he? I mean,
so we don't know what happened after that.
Oh no, yeah. Like in the police statement, in the statement that police released, he was like really like remorseful, and they didn't press charges, and the woman didn't have any injuries, and she didn't need any like medical attention, but. From what I was reading, that's not the point.
No.
No. And two, like, even if it was the point, you don't know what you're doing. This is why I say violence is such a thing you shouldn't do. It's so unpredictable. Like, you could punch someone in the face and that's it, they're dead. Not there and then, but like a blood clot because of where you've punched them, or they might have a previous condition, and because of what you've done to them, it's triggered it or made it worse, or things like that. Like, I was going to say about where the area I live. No, I don't think I'll say it on the internet. No.
Pretty best not to do that.
But near where I live, a guy years ago now, this guy died. He was hit in the back of his head, just a punch in the back of his head, and within hours he like fell into a coma, ended up in hospital, and then like the next day he was dead.
Madness.
And he was in an argument with this guy, and the guy wouldn't. I think it was the thing was he was built like he had a pretty decent build, so the guy didn't want to take him on. But then when he turned his back, the guy went and punched him in the back of his head.
Okay.
And from that, yeah, the guy died. Now it's the same thing when you do these violent acts. Okay, there's a difference between doing violence and then defending yourself. Some people will say, "Oh, you're doing this kumbaya people." No. There's a difference between self-defense and like
aggression.
Aggression. Yeah. And when you go into the whole aggressive state, you don't know what the outcome is. People say, "Oh no, we should about little fisticuffs and it's fine. They walk away when you're done." But
here's something as well that a lot of people never consider. Is that, okay, you talk about someone could just punch someone in the face and they die, yeah? Someone could theoretically go and punch someone in the face and that person turns around and pulls a knife out and stabs them in the
you don't
face.
know what you
Yeah.
And then, do you know what?
I've seen something similar.
I've seen something similar.
Okay.
Yeah. A simple beef where you can walk away, just turns and get
So,
escalated.
and then even and so since we're spanning on the random consequences of violence as well, I remember when we were still in school, and someone did something to some, I can't remember now, to be fair, what background she had, whether it was Asian or Russian. All I know is that her family was the sort of family you don't mess around with. And some guy basically slapped her or whatever. I can't really remember the details of why they did it or what it was about.
Yeah.
I do know that when that girl went back to her family, and obviously they wanted to know what happened, that family then went after that guy, and that guy got vanished. Like, vanished. So there's also like, don't know necessarily sometimes
it's the big fish thing when you don't, no matter how much of a big fish you think you are.
Yeah, there's a bigger fish.
Of another big fish.
There's a big fish, and obviously there are some. I think to some extent, like, I don't know if it's maybe the movies that we watch has kind of subtled our brains a little bit. We don't seem to think that these things can actually happen to us, but they can.
Really can.
They can, and they do happen. Do you know what I'm saying? There are some very dangerous people and families and groups out there, and if they find out that their daughter or their sister or their spouse or whatever has been attacked or treated unfairly or whatever, then the repercussions to that are going to be much worse than the slap or the punch.
Yeah.
So, but that is, where did that happen as well? The guy
it happened on a road called Mayo Road. Some
Okay.
people know where that is, some people won't. But it
so
doesn't really matter.
yeah.
But yeah, you don't know what you're dealing with. And the thing is, there's someone I know, I won't say who or what they are, but she is very, you could say passive aggressive? You could say that, but yeah, she never backs down. Never backs down. And the thing is, she's always angry. Always angry.
Oh, no, that's not passive aggressive, that's just
It's
aggressive.
just aggressive.
Passive aggressive is when you try to sugarcoat it and make it seem like you're not being aggressive, but actually you are. Yeah, aggressive is where that sugarcoating is not there.
Yeah, so I've told, like, she's a little thing. Like, yeah, exactly. She's a little thing. So, like, I don't think she could take on anyone. But she doesn't give a two. She doesn't care. She'll just she'll get an altercation with anyone. Not physical, but she'll just gun anyone. I'm like, you're gonna gun a crazy person one day. You're just gonna spat off at the mouth on a crazy person, and they're just gonna lay you out.
Hey, Rick James has been warning us for a long time, man. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
This woman is on a bike, and she's riding down the street, and there's a man crossing the road, and she's coming down at such a speed she can't stop. She's on a bicycle, and the guy's stepping out, but he has to step back, and he basically like, you know, it's kind of like, what are you doing, kind of thing. And she's like, and as she heads towards me, she can see the look on his face, and she says, please don't push me off my bike. And the guy goes, like, he throws some slurs at her, and she drives past him. And then she goes a long distance. Actually, what I'll do is I'll put the link in the description so people can see the video for themselves. But yeah, she's going down the road, and about a couple yards, maybe even 10 yards, and she looks back and the guy's chasing her. And he catches up to her, and he's like, you what? If you can put the finger up at me, and pushes off the bike. He like proper lunged her off the bike, and she falls into the road, and like there's traffic and there's heavy traffic and everything. And like so the police put that video out, and I think like a couple of hours later he handed himself into the police. So yeah, good, handed himself in. He's conscious, like got the better of him. But he shouldn't have done it in the first place, but obviously. Now my message is thing for him and for everyone else is, come on, really, calm down. Alright.
Calm down, it's only an advert here.
No, because like people get so pissed. Like if you give someone the finger and they will flip. Like violence even. So that, like this woman, she's obviously, he said that you don't see it in the video, but she's obviously giving the finger. And that's what's pissed him off to the point where he would chase her down the road, push off the bike into the road.
Yeah.
Like what if she pushed her over and a car ran over her, or ran over her head or something? Like, what was it worth it? Was the violence? was it worth it?
There's a surprising amount of this on public transport or just in general.
People are just angry these days.
I genuinely, you just reminded me like about probably a year, maybe more, a couple of years, like similar situation. I got off the bus, I'm in North Greenwich by the O2, I'm going down towards the underground, people are coming up, like me and this guy are kind of caught each other as you do, and you're going by, and I carry on walking, and this guy has chased after me, pulled my hoodie off of